Secure Silk.
Great to be back in Los Angeles with the UCLA Bruins as they play host to Pepperdine. It carries a top 20 ranking and 5 wins on the season into Drake Stadium. Let's take a look at those 3 and 4 UCLA Bruins. Under Amanda Cromwell, they're going to take Zoe Goralski and move her up top to play alongside Jenkins and Serta. And Ariel Schechtman gets her first career start as their keeper this evening against the Waves. Pepperdine is 5-2-1 on the season. 5 shutouts for head coach Tim Ward and his keeper Hannah Siebert, who's also one of his captains. Bria Vasali, number 13, and Jamie Van Horn, number 19, shared the team lead with 2 goals apiece. 8 different Waves have scored at least 1 goal this season. So there is Schechtman on the left, a redshirt freshman from Del Mar, California, La Jolla Country Day High School. Came on in the second half in their most recent match against North Carolina, and now she makes her first start as a Bruin here at Drake Stadium. With Kinder D. St. Aubin, JB Long, glad you're with us tonight on Pac-12 Los Angeles. One last non-conference test for UCLA before Pac-12 play begins in the defense of their 2-time crown. Jenkins sends it back to Alvarado, at least that was her intention. Alvarado with the win back. Brusky the target in the center of the park. We talked about UCLA's demanding schedule. Pepperdine likewise, and Tim Ward says that's what they do every year, whether they're ready for it or not, because that's what they promise these players and their families as recruits.
Well, and it's interesting talking to both of these head coaches. They said it differently, but both kind of had the same message as young teams, a little bit of inexperience, but they promise tough schedules and a good program to come into, and that's what both these clubs are doing.
Only 3 women for Pepperdine will exhaust their eligibility this season. You take a look at the series history. This is the 22nd all-time meeting between these programs. UCLA has the series lead, and they have won 4 in a row. UCLA beat Pepperdine twice a season ago, 2-0 in Hawaii. That was early in the non-conference slate. And then also 1-0 here in the round of 16 at Drake Stadium. This is Lebrusky. It'll be played all the way through to the keeper, Hannah Siebert. She's a junior from Riverside, went to Woodcrest Christian High School. She has 4 solo shutouts this year and 1 combined. Just 3 goals allowed and 22 saves on her season. I mentioned Vasali. She's one of their stars, dispossessed in the midfield there. Well done by Alvarado. Now Lebrusky's got a full head of steam.
And you can see the second Lebrusky won that ball, she picked up pace and looked for a teammate.
Lauren Caskey shares the team lead in goals, drops it back a level. Here's a go from distance, and one hops the keeper, Siebert. Siebert was all West Coast Conference honorable mention last season, leading the league with 9 shutouts, and she's coming off a 6-save shutout of Arizona last weekend. Kendra, you were in the desert for that Arizona Wildcats Classic. That was the first time that anyone had beaten Arizona this season.
Well, and it was really a tale of 2 games for the Pepperdine Waves. On Friday night, they struggled a little bit against ASU, and Siebert actually came out of that game, was pulled out of that game, I think just to make a change and give the other keeper some opportunity. But, man, did they come back firing on all cylinders Sunday with that 1-0 win.
This is finally booted away by Proctor. Proctor and Mad Tide teaming at center backs. No Gabby Miranda tonight. She's still nursing a Charlie horse she suffered in the win over Wisconsin that developed into more of an issue than she and Coach Cromwell had imagined.
Look at the space and the speed.
Quite a run for Mace, who is reputed as one of, if not the fastest player on UCLA's roster. All the way down that left flank. Now that she had the centering pass, kept off the end line by Siebert.
Well, that's 3 times already in just the first couple minutes that we've seen UCLA win the ball in the middle and then start to head down the middle of the field, steer a little bit towards the left flank, and serve that ball across, but nobody home quite yet, but I'm a little bit surprised at how much room Pepperdine is giving them up the middle of the field, and there's another opportunity.
Alvarado's just been eating up that possession right there down the spine of the field. Darian Jenkins lost it. Goralski steps onto it, and she's spilled, and there's the first whistle, a foul against Pepperdine into our 5th minute. It's Baisden, Riley Baisden, a converted forward, now playing left back.
Well, you can see right here just another move with speed. Just plays it right by the defender. Baisden beats her with a little touch move and some speed, and Baisden has to commit the foul to slow her down. Unfortunately, though, for Pepperdine, this is dangerous.
The lefty Caskey hits it high and deep.
I spoke too soon. You assume a dead ball that's 25 yards out. You're going to serve that ball in far post or hit it on frame there with some pace. Unfortunately, she hit that one over the crossbar, but that could have been a really dangerous opportunity for the Bruins.
The sounds of the UCLA marching band in the distance. They're practicing at an adjacent field.
You would think it was football season or something.
It's a nice little backdrop, isn't it, for this
It is.
Thursday evening match at UCLA?
It is a perfect night for soccer. This is the kind of temperature you can run all day in this weather out there. Last weekend in Arizona, it was really hot, 95 plus degrees. And of course, UCLA was on the road in North Carolina, where it's always a little humid. So this is probably a welcome change for both teams.
There's Caskey again, feeding it up that right side with Goralski checking back to the ball. Zoe Goralski, a physiological science major who hopes to become a physical therapist. And we just got a glimpse of former UCLA great Abby Dahlkemper on the bench for the Bruins today. There she is, sitting with the staff, now playing professionally, as are 7 of her classmates from a season ago.
When account lead Craig Wilson books at LaQuinta.com, he gets a ready fueler the second is ready.
Caitlin Rowland, Abby Dahlkemper, Samantha Mewis, Caprice Didasco, Sarah Killian, Megan Oyster, Rosie White. Think of all that group accomplished as Bruins.
And that's one of those players that's a tough one to replace. There are certain seniors that graduate and move on in certain positions on the field, and when that happens, it's going to take a little time to find the right mix to fill those holes.
I kiddingly asked Amanda Cromwell if she checked with Abby to see if there was any lost eligibility left over that they had not recognized. Here's a nice turn by Jenkins. Can she get it on that right foot? A good step defensively by Baisden, the left back. And Scheckman, the redshirt freshman, with Cassie Sternbach having been the keeper for much of the early season for UCLA. Another top 100 recruit in goal tonight for UCLA. The field seems to be littered with them, and that's one of the reasons why you figure Coach Cromwell will eventually get this group to put the pieces together.
Well, and sometimes, look right now, UCLA dominating in the possession. It's only in the 7th, 8th minute of this game, but Pepperdine hardly been able to touch the ball. She said that's what she really liked about their game against UNC. They dominated in possession. They had a really great game, but just a couple key mistakes in key positions cost them some easy goals going the other direction. The Tar Heels are the kind of team that are going to make you pay, and UCLA just has to clean up those mistakes, and more importantly, where is that second defender on the field? So when one of your teammates does make a mistake, you're right there to help them out and pick it up.
Rachel Collins helping to switch the point of attack for the Waves. Shot fired high of Scheckman's cage. One of the things they like about Ariel is her big leg, right? And in resets, goal kicks, and even in the punting game, she gives them the ability to really gain some field possession. Well,
and Coach Cromwell said she literally gets their offense going with that. If they're struggling to get out of their own end, and against UNC, they were going against the wind the first half, so they could see it being an issue. And right there, you see that 5 yards over the halfway line with that goal kick. That is one way to get your team going offensively.
Alvarado's a captain. She's chewing up yardage here. Hooks up with Goralski. The pass for Jenkins. Nice touch to keep it alive. Caskey chips it in. Sent away by Baisden. Despite the record for UCLA, Kendra, the stats on paper look pretty healthy, plus about 6 shots per match in terms of their advantage over their competition, plus 23 in corner opportunities. So that kind of speaks to the point you're mentioning here tonight, where you can see they're connecting and possessing. They've got way more of the ball than Pepperdine.
Well, and unfortunately, soccer is one of those cruel sports that you can literally dominate in possession, and you can have more opportunities and chances, and it takes one quick mistake or something going the other direction, and you're down a goal or you lose a game. So Coach Cromwell knows they have to capitalize on their opportunities and limit their mistakes. It sounds simple, but it's always easier said than done.
This is May Moan. First chance we've had to call her name tonight. Alvarado takes it away with a good challenge. Now plays over the top to Darian Jenkins. Able to touch it before it hits the end line, but no threat to Hannah Siebert. Here's Jenkins, who had the game-winning goal against San Diego in the 103rd minute. That's her lone tally of the season. It got UCLA its first win. Left-footed Caskey plays it ahead.
And that's going to go out for a goal kick. But did you see that play right there? Malich brings the ball down. It pops up in the air. She takes 2 or 3 touches to settle that ball and get it to her feet. And nobody from Pepperdine stepped in. If you're allowing a person to take 2, 3, 4 touches to really bring that ball down and settle it, you're giving them way too much time and space. That's where you got to step in, take advantage of that poor touch or that mistouch, and step in defensively. Right here, she brings it down 1, 2. I mean, look at that. And the defender just kind of backs right off and gives her that space. If you're Pepperdine, you got to be right on the back of these UCLA players. Don't allow them any space to turn and time to get to the end line.
Michelle Maimone once again dispossessed, and she picks up the foul, working against Goralski.
My math was bad on how many touches there were. Math wasn't my strong suit, but you get the idea with the time and space that she was given to really bring that ball down with no pressure.
Here's Courtney Proctor back in her center back spot. Former top 25 recruit who missed her sophomore season of 2012 with an ACL. 2013, a goal and assist in the NCAA tournament. And 2014, only 6 matches. Granted a medical exemption, though, so she's got 2 more years of eligibility. It's just great to see Proctor back on the field at a time when they really need her to help replace Miranda. Look at the speed through the midfield by Vasali and Collins. One-touch cross, it's in front, it's at the feet. Rodriguez tries to settle, and it's cleaned up by Caskey. Here's a recycled ball in on the keeper, and Scheckman and the Bruins live to see another possession.
That is a perfect example where Pepperdine hasn't had the ball much. They come down one opportunity, Scheckman makes a diving save, and Pepperdine almost gets on the board. One opportunity where they get it inside the 18-yard box, and they're almost on the board.
That should be a whistle, and it is, as Jenkins is toppled. So here's another threatening position for a restart. We'll see if Caskey takes it again for UCLA.
And back to Scheckman's save. I mean, she makes a great diving save in traffic inside the 6-yard box, but notice she punches it right back out in front, right into the opposition. So you got to either punch that off to the side or hang on to it. It's easier said than done once again, but when you have this kind of talent on the field for both sides, somebody's going to pounce on that one.
Caskey's last set piece was, to your point, not her best. We'll see if she recalibrates here in the 13th minute. It looks like it's hers to take again. Well, she's got a job as the UCLA place kicker in the future if she so desires.
Well, and you know that is so frustrating for Caskey. That's the last thing she wants to do, is have 2 tremendous opportunities on the offensive end to put something on the board, or at least on frame, and to knock him out of bounds over the crossbar.
I think that would have been good from 35 yards.
If you put it on frame or you put it in play, at least you know you can get a rebound, you can get a deflection, it can come back out off of a save, a punch out. But Caskey, you know she's not going to be happy with that herself. These players have such high standards for themselves. They demand a lot. They don't like those kind of mistakes.
Well, best connections up until that point when they tried to play to the feet of Vasali for Pepperdine. See if Alvarado and UCLA can build a counter. Lavruski working to win it back. Asuma and Van Horn are the Pepperdine center backs, and their coach Tim Ward calls them the Twin Towers. Both tall with the long blonde ponytails, and they've been rock solid for Pepperdine.
Well, that's a nice give and go on that wing.
Shane running that right flank. Here UCLA calling away. The flag is up for offside as Proctor holds her ground defensively for the Bruins. Ian Anderson, our referee tonight. Here's a look at Arcevedo. Michaela Arcevedo, a freshman from Anaheim. She scored her first career goal to lead the Waves to victory over Arizona last week, the first time the Cats had been defeated in this 2015 season. Nice sliding touch out wide. Able to get it to Goralski. Center of the park, it's Caskey all alone. She'll hit it. Again, too tall for Serta. Mackenzie Serta, her target.
Just a little heavy on all those passes so far tonight, coming from the midfield. I mean, something that's usually her specialty, serving the ball and finding her teammates. And of course, getting those shots on frame as well. That was a nice ball to the left wing.
Another heavy touch, and over the end line, that gives a goal kick to Pepperdine. In the background there, you can see Taylor Smith, the senior captain for UCLA, who was red carded for fighting against North Carolina over the weekend. So UCLA appealed that. It was denied, and it will stand as a 2-match suspension. So not just tonight, but also the Pac-12 opener against Oregon. How much of a loss is that, Kendra?
Well, it's a huge loss, and you know, Smith is probably thinking about it. It's tough that when emotions run high, and we talked to Coach Cromwell about what happened exactly.
Goralski trying to take it wide, edge of the 18. Somehow threaded it through the legs of the center back. And Baisden will take this away.
And sometimes when tempers, you know, you've got UNC taking on UCLA. That's a tough game. That's a tough matchup. It was late in the game. Energy is running high. 2 players going up for a challenge and maybe a little bit of an elbow, so that's why she gets the red card. Never want to hurt anybody intentionally, but she'll have a couple games to kind of watch from the side and see what her team does. And also it gives Coach Cromwell a chance to kind of see what other pieces she can put in if Smith isn't in a game. There's always a chance something like that, or a substitution or an injury, you never know, can happen in the future.
Smith and Caskey had the goals in the win at Wake Forest on the front end of that road trip. At the time, it snapped a 2-match losing streak before they fell to the Tar Heels. And so tonight, just to reset, they find themselves at 3-4, and we've been digging for most of the evening to try and figure out the last time that UCLA women's soccer was not ranked in the national polls. Here's Jenkins. Back to Caskey, a level. Alvarado chips it across. No one on the end of that. Siebert swings it out to her left back, Baisden. Dangerous pass there. Let's see if UCLA can punish. Mackenzie Serta. That was Asuma who took it right off her laces.
Ooh, that could have been really dangerous. Rodriguez, number 18 up top for Pepperdine, has a lot of speed, but the Bruins did a good job dropping off, covering that run just in case she got a touch on that ball.
Well played up the right flank. It continues with Jenkins. Here's Lavruski. He thought about making the long pass, instead opted for Alvarado. Annie Alvarado, who had a perfect 4.0 GPA in the spring session. Now Caskey. Here's a weighted ball. One of those twin towers. I think it was Van Horn got the header on it. Tough center backs to throw over the top of here for Pepperdine. Wonderful first touch there by Darian Jenkins. Can she frame it up? Oh, she whipped with the rights.
What a turn by Jenkins on that one. She has the center back stepping on her tight and aggressive right there. She feels that pressure, makes a nice little touch. Off to the races. Look at how much space before that second defender came over. How many times have we seen that happen, or it's happened to us? You take a touch, you get that thing all lined up, and you accidentally tap it with that other foot. And you swing and you miss. But let's focus on that beautiful turn to create that space. Well done by Jenkins.
Nearly won it back with Labruski. Collins doing some magic there to get out of trouble. Look at this long sprint. Kaski able to hang with it. They got it to the end line. Pepperdine cross, and Sheckman grabs it with two strong hands. That was Vasali hunting around the area.
Look at that. That's the second time they've got an end line plated ball back across, and Sheckman does well to hang on to that ball. That's a collision between herself, her teammate, and Vasali, and she's able to hang on to it. Or maybe it was showing. I'm not sure. Did she serve the ball in or go for the effort there? But either way, Sheckman hanging on to that ball.
Megan Shane has a Pac-12 connection. Portland-born. Her father, Mike, ran track and cross country at OSU. Here's another restart for UCLA, and Alvarado takes it this time. UCLA with a 3-1 shot advantage through 20 minutes, but nothing to show for it. Love to get back to 500 with their overall record before league play begins next week. Zoe Goralski well marked there. Get the deep throw in for UCLA. Now a redshirt sophomore from Naperville, Illinois. An assist on the season for Goralski. Brusky surrounded by waves, played it back to Kaski, popped up, and now Goralski the header. Pepperdine is now the fourth top 20 team that the Bruins will have faced in their non-conference slate. So they will be well prepared for what they'll see in the Pac-12. Alvarado chewing up yardage. Here's Jenkins in some space. I think she just chucked her heart rate monitor there.
She did. She kind of did it. Whoa, that was a hard tackle. Speaking of Charlie horses.
And it goes as a goal kick. Denied the corner as well as the foul.
And you can see that left hamstring already has some of that tape on it. That was a hard.
Keep in mind, as the training staff is out to attend to Jenkins, that the Bruins are already down Gabby Miranda, one of their starting backs. They're hoping to have her back in the near future, early in conference play. And they're without Taylor Smith tonight.
Well, and she's trying to turn the corner there and use that speed once again. And it goes for a goal kick. No foul called on the play. I think that's one of those tough ones where she does get the ball first and then runs into her leg.
Credit Riley Baisden with the tackle. And while we attend to Jenkins, this is the current NCAA top 10 in women's soccer with UVA, the side that Pepperdine played to a draw. There you see the one in the tie column. Stanford, the highest ranked Pac-12 club, right now at 6th. The Cardinal were the Pac-12 favorite, and I think that's been relatively true to form. I'll mention here that Washington State is one of 3 teams in Division I soccer still unbeaten and without a draw, and Oregon State also still undefeated at 4-0-2. And I don't know, this does not look good for Jenkins and UCLA.
Well, and it was hard to tell how she fell because of the way they were on the end of the field and she was going away from the camera. I'm not sure what she fell on exactly. Initially, my first thought is a Charlie horse, something with the thigh or the leg, but she does fall right on that side, and she did tuck and roll. But it's always hard to tell with shoulders and collarbones. I mean, sometimes it looks brutal and they pop right back up, and sometimes it doesn't look like much, and she clearly looked like she's not feeling right. feeling good right now.
She has taken a detour around the UCLA bench for more medical treatment. Amber Munnerlin, the junior, a North Carolina transfer with a goal and assist on the season, takes her place up top for the Bruins. Nearly another deep giveaway for Pepperdine. It'll be a UCLA throw. 22 minutes gone. We're scoreless. 3-1, the shots advantage for the Bruins. And my mistake, a Waves throw, and in fact, as we continue to monitor Jenkins, the junior from Riverton, Utah. Arcebido steps onto it for the Waves. Tell you what, Alvarado's had a very nice match so far for the Bruins.
She's done a good job of recovering the ball when there's been a couple turnovers, or Pepperdine comes up the middle on the attack. She just nice, cleanly wins it back and then tries to distribute.
Mentioned that 4.0 GPA in the spring of 15, part of the director's honor roll here at UCLA. Maymon and Shane on that right flank for Pepperdine. The flag is up for offsides just by a step. Smartly done by Matlich, the left back for UCLA.
And you can see Pepperdine really pressing that UCLA line. They are holding strong, and that is one thing as a back line. You've got to be together. You've got to have good communication to try to keep that player offside, and they did it there. They held their line well. It's tempting to kind of sneak back because you're afraid, well, hey, if that assistant referee doesn't lift his flag up and they're onside, I'm going to be caught here out of position defensively. But you really have to stay strong and communicate as a group.
Harbison with the win for Pepperdine. They play through their midfield. Collins and Vasali, the spine of their attack. All the way to Goralski, the right back for UCLA. She fans on it. Arcebido looking for an option. Baisden, the left back, in support. Try to play right back into the feet of her left attacker. Rusky caught it on her heel, able to recover. Madison tie here for UCLA.
That looked like a handball.
Mace with the throw for UCLA. Chest settle, and now Alvarado.
Look at the space on this right flank.
Proctor out to Goralski.
Oh, that was a good stuff. That was a good defensive stop in the open field.
A couple good plays by Baisden here in the opening half. Quick counter against the run of play by the Waves. Maymon trying to keep it alive. She'll pass out of the 18 for the service, off the foot of Arcebido. Headed away by Gabrielle Matlich. Serve back in, and the keeper will gobble it up.
And right here, just a great little move there by Goralski. She's got the speed, but good stuff defensively. It's tough when it's players coming at you one-on-one with open space. They can go to the right or their left. But that was a good stop by Baisden to really hold her ground. Watch the ball. Don't get fooled by the step over. And takes it away.
Waves trying to squeeze it through. It's intercepted. Van Horn and Asuma, the center backs for Pepperdine. Now Harbison. Shane and Harbison, a little give and go action, weighted ball. Served into Proctor, boots it away with the left.
Pepperdine is loving that right side of the field offensively right now. We've seen 6 or 7 crosses come from that side of the field, but UCLA has done a nice job positionally to keep the ball cleared out, and Scheckman so far has owned her 6-yard box.
Claire Winter, redshirt sophomore, enters for the Bruins, and this is Christina Settles, a freshman from Oceanside, joining the formation for Pepperdine. Winter admires Buster Posey, the catcher for the San Francisco Giants, and she plans to pursue a career in communications and broadcasting. So she is someone that I can definitely applaud her taste. Posey and
because
broadcasting.
I was going to say, was it more Posey or was it more the broadcasting? She's only played 23 minutes so far this season, but once again, another player that Coach Cromwell, she knew coming into the season, she's going to have to try some players in some different positions, mix things up, give some people some opportunities, and to see who's ready to step up.
Again, it's Amber Munnerlin up top after Darian Jenkins suffered what appeared to be a right shoulder injury and left this match. 28 minutes gone of scoreless soccer between Pepperdine and UCLA. The Waves began this season preseason top 10. They remain top 20 on the strength of wins against Wisconsin, Arizona, and a draw against number 1 Virginia. There's Munnerlin. Target of this pass. Hip high, unable to control. Throw into Lavruski. Baisden been solid as that left back. Proctor and Mad Ty here for UCLA. Center backs operating back into the attacking half.
As exciting as this non-conference schedule has been for Pac-12 teams because of the strength of opponents that they all schedule, I'm really looking forward to getting this season, this conference season going. I was at the airport this morning. I go to get in line to check my luggage, and there's the entire ASU soccer team, and they're heading to Oklahoma and Oklahoma State.
Serta able to turn the corner, got her centering pass in. Shot never got to the keeper. Claire Winter with that second chance.
And they are just as excited to get this conference slate going after a tough weekend for them coming up here on the road.
So do you still envision Stanford as the favorite?
I don't know how you can't. But to be honest, seeing UCLA right now unranked and at 3-4 in the season, even though they have all these new pieces, I still didn't think. So you just never know what can happen in this conference. But Paul Riley, I mean, he just, every season, he's got this team, the Stanford team, just ready to go.
Wonderful first touch there. Cody Lavruski sent it high. That's kind of been the theme for the attack, the shots for UCLA in this opening half. And while we were chatting, Belden Long came into the match to replace Goralski and the UCLA lineup. Giveaway here. This is Long. In fact, it's Claire Winter. Good step there by Harbison to knock it out. Let's see if Amy Alvarado can make something happen in the UCLA attack as we enter the 32nd minute. Mace plays it up that left side. Kasky ready for another throw. Courtney Proctor from midfield. Had Lavrusky in mind.
They've done a few of those balls, haven't they? Pretty direct from the back to the front, skipping the midfield. UCLA trying to switch it up offensively. They've gone out wide a few times, served some balls in. They've gone direct over the top.
Arcevedo has a chance to chew up some yardage on this long run.
Another tough tackle, this time the other way.
Winter with the challenge there. Our first look at Belden Long there, number 5 in black. Referee Ian Anderson tonight. A goal kick upcoming for Ariel Schechtman, making her first career start at UCLA in goal tonight. Has helped to keep a clean sheet through the first 32 minutes.
What do you think about Stanford? I mean, going back to what we were saying with Paul Ratcliffe, I mean, he always has his team ready to play, but he's also got a wealth of talent. You see them quite a bit throughout the regular season, the conference schedule.
Yeah, I think they're the class of the conference, but I will say that there's a more talented, more capable group of challengers than there has been in years past, where UCLA and Stanford, I think, were the clear-cut top of the league, and that the match between them was going to decide the Pac-12 championship. This year, I'm not so sure that ASU and Cal, Washington State, USC, a few other sides might not, Washington's another one, might not have something to say about that championship picture as we get deeper into the season. Especially as these injuries continue to mount for UCLA. Certainly hope for the best for Darian Jenkins. She is a piece that at this stage at 3-4 and lacking the goal-scoring firepower we've seen from the Bruins in recent years, they can ill afford to lose. I think Arizona State's a great program. I think Cal is ready. I think Cal could challenge for a Pac-12 title this year.
They're on a roll. But just like anything in any sport, it's really about consistency. As we take a look at the preseason coaches poll for the conference, 9 teams from this conference made it to the NCAA tournament last season. And you just never know what could happen. I mean, we saw UCLA play Washington last year in a regular season game towards the end of the season. And the Huskies on their home field were all fired up to host the Bruins. And the crowd, there was like 3,000 people there. And the Bruins just came in and crushed them. So sometimes it's just about consistency. Which team is going to show up every day? How many injuries are you going to endure? And what kind of depth do you have to get through some of those injuries? And bouncing back from tough losses. That's what's so great about this conference. Literally anybody can beat anybody on any given day because the talent is so deep.
4 ranked teams in the Pac-12 currently, with Stanford, Cal, Arizona State, and Washington. If I had told you that there would be 4 ranked Pac-12 teams as we wrap up non-conference play, and Amanda Cromwell's group would not be one of them, you would have rolled your eyes at me.
Quite honestly, if you would have told me going into the season there were 3 Mac Hermann Trophy watch list players only in the Pac-12, only 3, I would have been surprised.
Really nice turn by Amber Munnerlin. We've seen some wonderful touches in the attacking third for UCLA, just not the precision shots that we've become accustomed to. No one had a look, but Hannah Siebert quick off her line. Let's back to that preseason poll for a moment. UCLA picked second, as you saw. Amanda Cromwell told us before the season that she had actually hoped to see her side a little bit lower, given all that they had lost. She would not have minded some tamped down expectations. Not here at UCLA, though.
No, it's not going to happen. And now she's out of the rankings, and I don't know how good she feels about that either. You know, I mean, it's really just the expectations you put on yourself. And she has such a tough non-conference schedule, so you know going in, UNC isn't going to take you lightly if they've been ranked less, you know, not as high going in to the season. But maybe even mentally for her own team, maybe it makes a difference. Maybe it's not so much about opponents, but your own team, knowing that they had a lot to shoulder with the graduating class, the success they've had the past couple years.
Munnerlyn, great pass from Alvarado. Long trying to hold it, and she could not. The UCLA throw-in upcoming. With 37 minutes gone by, we are still scoreless, and the Bruins will get another substitute in the match in this first half. Christiana Konkel-Mroczykowski will enter for Mackenzie Serta. Senior from Malibu. So you know she wants to play against Pepperdine. Poli-science major, 2 years of eligibility left for Konkel-Mroczykowski, even though she is a senior because she's had some injury hardship. Collins able to pull it through that slide tackle. Waves trying to get some numbers forward now. There's a drive end line and the cross that never got there, but it is going to be a Waves corner, their first of the match. Arcebido and Shane helping to earn it. Katie Boggs is standing by with our Pac-12 soccer halftime reports. Bees face a top 10 BYU team tonight in Pac-12 soccer. And UCLA fans, I'm sure you know, BYU is on your mind as well on the football side of the equation. As Katie Byrne from Katy, Texas, a freshman, enters the match. Here is that first corner kick for the Waves. It's on the keeper, and you can see 5'10" Sheckman rising above the traffic.
Well, she had no issues with that one, just climbing right up the ladder there to get that one and cleanly hangs on to it. UCLA doing a lot of substituting already here in this first half, obviously a couple due to injury, but for the most part, I think, again, it's just Amanda Cromwell trying to sort things out. Last non-conference game, and she said that was going to be very different this year for this team. A lot more substitutions last season and the prior one. We saw pretty much the same group play almost the entire 90 minutes every game.
Great win there by Ty. That brings up a point, this being a one-match week. In college soccer, we're used to managing the weekend, right? And playing at least 180 minutes. Both these sides, this is their only match of the week, and that changes how they can approach this contest.
Well, and that's a long break between games, in my opinion. I mean, now I'm feeling like I always like to get right back out there. Now UCLA doesn't play again until Friday, when they start conference play next Friday, I should say, not tomorrow. If I'm an athlete, I like to get right back out there and get going. Who wants to sit around and go to practice? The coaches enjoy that time to game plan, get players healthy and sort things out. But if you're a player, I'd rather be on the field playing a game than running 120s at practice. A beautiful chop there by Konkel-Mroczykowski, trying to connect up top with Avruski, and denied by Siebert. But the point you raise is a good one. You know, at 3-4 and coming off a very challenging non-conference, maybe the extra training time is just what Cromwell wants before Pac-12 play. Well, and especially with some of her players taking some knocks. And this is a nice little through ball, but Siebert does a good job coming off of her line. You can see Lavruski trying to get on the end of it. But again, very straight and narrow up the middle of the field with that through ball, not diagonal. Sometimes those are hard to get on the end of and create a really good angle where the keeper can't come off her line and get to it. And there she did it. Suma playing it up top with 5 minutes to go in this opening half. Mad Tide takes a touch out wide to play it. Rusky with that high pressure, just kind of hanging around up top, looking for any kind of break. Shane has played well on this far side. Able to drive end line a few times and create some chances. Christina Settles working with her to create this service. Claire Winter gets it away for UCLA. Asuma and Van Horn possess now for the Waves. Rodriguez their target up top. Bays in the left back. Gets it right back to Rodriguez. She'll hit it off the back of Proctor. And Sheckman comes down with it. When you could see Proctor, she could see the Pepperdine player winding up to take that shot. All she could do was really try to get in the way of it. It was only about 22 yards out. I think it was Rodriguez up top. Right there. Deflects off of the back of her shoulder.
All the way down in the attacking third now. Lavruski able to find Munnerlin. The best possession in the attacking third the Bruins have had in quite some time. And it's off the side of the cage.
Substitute in the match. Now coming in for UCLA. Number 13, Taylor Oliver. Number 6, Lauren Caskey.
And once again, the Bruins possessing the ball in that final third of the field, but not able to get anything really dangerous as far as a scoring opportunity. That's something they're going to continue to work on. Creativity in that final third and really just efficiency with the finishing.
Taomi Oliver, a freshman from the UK, makes an appearance deep in this half, along with Grace Vitek for Pepperdine. I credit this back line for the Waves. They've had some good challenges, some good steps, both at the outside backs and those experienced center backs. Let's see if Alvarado and the Bruins can build something late. Proctor surveying her options. Alvarado up a level. It's a right back. Munnerlin checking back to the ball. 2 minutes left in this opening half. UCLA has the better of the shots category, 5-2. A long drive by Mace interrupted. Bruins hoping for a throw. And they do get it. There's Haley Mace, a freshman from Ventura. He's been with several youth national team camps, most recently with U20s in January of this year. Foul goes against the Bruins.
He hasn't had to blow his whistle too much tonight, has he?
No, it's been a pretty fluid first half.
It's been a good, clean game, physical at times, and we've seen a couple fouls. He blew the whistle when necessary, except for maybe the one that we saw Jenkins get hurt on the one end line, but it's had a really nice flow to this game. It's always nice when there's not a ton of whistles disrupting the play.
Katie Byrne getting a good test along that edge of the 18. Collins stepping forward now. Lays it off. Some wit to the Waves attack. A late deep service from the corner. Here's a dangerous ball. Proctor put a stop on it, and it's swept away. Final 20 seconds here at Drake Stadium. Malcolm Rochikowski helping out defensively. Now looking for a quick counter in these last 10 seconds. Now we will go to the half scoreless between UCLA and Pepperdine as they renew this Southern California rivalry. So at least defensively for Conkle and for her keeper Sheckman, who you also saw, a clean sheet, but nothing to show on the offensive end. 45 minutes of scoreless soccer here in Southern California. Katie Boggs standing by with our Pac-12 soccer halftime report after this. Just a short stroll from the John Wooden statue outside Pauley Pavilion. We're at Drake Stadium, a scoreless match between Pepperdine and UCLA tonight in women's soccer. Just because there's no score does not mean there have not been some major storylines. Among them, Taylor Smith, unable to play tonight after a red card in UCLA's most recent match, and Darian Jenkins suffering this first half injury.
Well, this was just a great move with speed, and I'm really not sure if it's a foul. It seemed like a pretty clean tackle, a physical play after the fact, but she gets the ball, but she clearly goes down hard, kind of spins over on that shoulder, on that elbow, and you can see the look on her face right there. She is not happy. She's kind of mouthing to herself, oh my God, because she's thinking, I don't want to be out for any period of time. I want to help my team.
Especially for a side that's struggling to find the back of the net right now. She would be a difficult loss. We'll see if she returns in this second half. despite her loss, UCLA has the better of the statistics. Was that reflected in the run of play in your eyes, Kendra?
Well, I think they had the more shots on goal and the better statistics there, but at the same time, Pepperdine looked dangerous a couple times. They got down that right flank, served that ball into the box, but UCLA did a good job. Scheckman did a good job as well, owning that 6-yard box.
Cody Lewruski and the Bruins are back on their sideline. Let's use this opportunity to talk about that Mac Hermann Trophy watch list as we head towards Pac-12 play. And Andy Sullivan and the Stanford Cardinal are the top-ranked team in the country, in the Pac-12 in the country right now. Jane Campbell in goal, a big reason why. Taylor Smith missing tonight's match. She'll also miss UCLA's opener against Oregon. You feel like there should be more Pac-12 players on this list?
Well, it's just hard for me to imagine when you have 9 teams from your conference go to postseason play last season and only come up with 3 players on the entire conference with all these tremendous rosters getting into postseason, into the Mac Hermann Trophy watch list.
Before our second half, let's check in with Amanda Cromwell. And Coach, what adjustments in this second half would you like to see from your side?
I'd like to finish a chance. We didn't get in line as much as we wanted to. No corner kicks, and I thought we had a good attacking play, and then we just didn't have a great final pass, or the decision making on that final pass needs to be a lot better. Darian going down, we have to tweak some things and see what we can do.
Well, how about on the defensive end? I know you haven't allowed a goal yet in this game, but you said maybe a couple miscues in games past. You happy with the performance so far for your team defensively?
There's no shots on goal, so I have to be happy with that.
All right, seconds away from our second half. Thank you, Amanda.
Thanks.
Listening to Amanda there, I was reminded of that Mac Hermann Trophy watch list discussion we were having. And the fact that last year, don't quote me on this, but I'm almost positive Samantha Mewis was not on the preseason watch list, ended up being one of the final candidates. And so there's a testament to the point that you were making, that even though there are only 3 on the quote-unquote watch list, we have our eyes on several more.
Well, and I think it's tough, too, sometimes with the question about the defense. No shots on goal against UCLA, but at the same time, you're playing defense all over the field. So you've got to be careful on miscues that happen at midfield, that could a turnover that could lead to an offensive opportunity for Pepperdine. So I know she's happy with no shots on goal, but you've got to be careful all over the field that you're playing some good D.
Conkle and Caskey get us restarted from the center circle. Second half of a scoreless match between Pepperdine and UCLA. Caskey settles, holds. Proctor over to Tyre, her fellow center back. Madison Ty, senior from San Rafael, California. Gabrielle Matlich drives to the area, gives it up, and it's cleared away by the Waves. Claire Winter working hard for a win back. That's a nice find, Lewruski.
UCLA won that ball back so quickly and went back on the attack that Pepperdine didn't even get a chance to get out of the defensive third of the field.
Here's Conkle. Nice slice inside. Let's see if UCLA has the service. Zoe Goralski taken down, but no whistle. Play on. Kendra D. St. Aubin, I'm JB Long. Glad you're with us on a Thursday night in Westwood for Pac-12 women's soccer. Steve Elkin is producing for us tonight. Brad Tuberman is our director, and there's a foul in the attacking third, and the Bruins will get a restart after Haley Mace was taken to the turf, and a yellow card comes out.
And that referee did not hesitate. Mace using her speed and her body to make, look at that move, and clearly a late foul and a tackle. That is a great call, I think, by the referee there with the yellow card. But you could see Mace, the second she turned that corner, played the ball around the opponent and beat her with her speed, forcing her to commit the foul. That was Arcebido.
Freshman against freshman matchup there. Low drive on the restart, and it goes out over the touchline. Waves looking for a way out of their defensive third. UCLA has not made that easy. The opening minutes of this second half. And finally, they get it out to midfield. Shane looking for a target up top. Waves win it back deep in their corner. And nowhere to go with that.
Goal kick, UCLA.
Arcevedo, a freshman from Anaheim. Harbison throws it back in for the Waves. And it'll go over to the Bruins. Mackenzie Serta played at the top of the 18. Only Waves there. Shane dashes inside. Wise play by Vasali to let it go through. They change the point of attack. From the left flank, the Waves attack. Settles gets a start here in the second half. Part of this build. Here's a service, top of the 6, and it's plucked out of the air by Ariel Sheckman.
Once again, Pepperdine coming down that right flank. I don't think we've seen them go down the left more than once or twice. Once again, Sheckman up to the task, coming off of her line, making a nice save. And Coach Cromwell told us before the game, hey, I may switch it up at half. You never know with the keeper. She's got a couple really great keepers on this roster, and they each bring something different, all three of them actually. She must have liked what she saw from Sheckman that first half. Ooh.
Play on. Arcevedo enters the 18, chips it in front. It goes all the way across the goal mouth. No threat.
And this just, I'm not really sure how that's not a foul, actually.
A delayed foul, if nothing else.
Yeah, kind of upended her. Got mostly body there.
Michelle Maimone, toppled by Zoe Goralski. I think the Waves had the advantage there. The referee probably wanted to see how that played out. But once it did,
she kept possession, yeah.
See if the UCLA band can lift the Bruins here. Their spirits, at least. The 50th minute. Shane again up that right flank. Had made. Back on the foot of Harbison. Got Maimone now, surrounded by Bruin. She looks for the through ball, and the Waves have it. It's tipped off the post. There's a flag up for offside, would not have counted. But the most threatening combination by the Waves yet.
Well, and I think you and I, like most people, were so focused on the play, we didn't even see the assistant referee, but actually, the player that received the ball was in an onside position. The two players that were in an offside position when the ball was played did not play the ball. But oftentimes, if that other player is in a position that it can be distracting, it can draw the defender away, or they're somehow indirectly involved with it, the flag will go up. And I can only think that's what happened right there, because we see that happen a lot. A player makes a run through the midfield, and the forwards know they're in an offside position, so they tuck back in and they don't touch the ball. But the assistant referee did raise the flag for offside.
There's a little deflection on the entry pass as well, which created the timing to make that play possible.
And you can see where that run comes from. You're right, there was actually two deflections there off of UCLA. And the ball ends up hitting the post anyway, but the assistant referee raised his flag right away, thinking that was an offside position.
Gabrielle Matlich with the throw in for the Bruins. On to Mackenzie Serta. Serta's after this, but the center backs for Pepperdine have been very strong. Van Horn and Asuma. Borowski gets it away. Right back to right back on that exchange. Here's Shane. Collins, number 16 in orange, has stepped in to fill the void left by injured holding mid Megan Harbison. She's the sister of Haley Harbison. That service, front post, picked up by Sheckman. One other Wave player we need to mention, and that's Taylor Alvarado. She's a Mexican youth national teamer, a junior. And she is day-to-day right now for this Pepperdine side. So much like UCLA, not without their bumps and bruises as they wrap up non-conference play. Mention Oregon comes in to face UCLA to open Pac-12 competition. It's Cal Poly for Pepperdine on the WCC slate. Good battle going on, far touchline, and the Waves able to keep it.
How awesome was that communication? You can hear the field mics picking up UCLA teammates, and it might have even been Sheckman coming all the way from the back to keep her, but telling Lauren, keep her there, and she forced Lauren Caskey, forced a Pepperdine player to turn around and go backwards. And I just love hearing that kind of communication from the teammates on the field. That's the best thing about the field mics, being able to pick up that communication.
What a challenge by Claire Winter, and she wins possession for the Bruins. Target Serta up top. She was well marked. That's one of the points to go back to the communication that Tim Ward stresses with his Pepperdine side. They want to be the loudest team on the field every night.
Well, and it's always the loudest team, but have it be relevant communication. I mean, how many times have we done games where somebody's yelling a lot of stuff, but it kind of gets lost in translation because the teammates start zoning them out and tuning them out. But if it's relevant, pertinent information, that's what Tim Ward wants from his team.
Baisden can really fly down that left flank.
Yeah, there's some teammates who don't say a whole lot, but they just do it with their play. Another offside flag. Pepperdine pushing the offside position, this time down the left side.
Kayla Sabito, who picked up a yellow card in the first half.
Oh, that's pretty clear. That's 2-3. Well, and you could tell she was almost trying to get back onside. That ball probably should have been played a step sooner. Her run went into the offside position.
Ty sends it over to her left back, Matlich. Really physical win by Serta. That was well done. Now Mace. It's checked away, and a throw in coming for the Bruins as we enter the 56th minute. They've got a 5-2 shot advantage. Pepperdine has only had to make one save in this scoreless contest. Foul will go against the Waves here. Arcibita's got to be careful playing with that yellow. Some of those slide tackles could get her an unfortunate red. Hate to see a match like this be played at that kind of a disadvantage.
Well, she's just had to cover a lot of ground on that left side going forward, trying to get in on the attack, but then also recovering on defense. So she's had to slide a couple times defensively to make up for that. That was good positioning, but she's also covering a lot of players on that side with some speed for UCLA.
Shane carries on for the Waves. Coming back to help out, Lavruski able to win possession for the Bruins. Caskey boots it ahead. See Van Horn hold her ground there. This is Vasali, maybe the most talented player on the Waves roster. Nice touch ahead to Shane. Her service It's a good one. And a sprawling Ariel Scheckman shuts it down.
Last week I talked to Coach Ward about Vasali, and I said, what is it that makes her so good? Because she kind of goes unnoticed sometimes, but does the little things. And he said, well, she's playing a different role in the attacking mid than she did last season. Last season, attacking mid as well, but a different role within it. And it doesn't matter what it is. She just does it. She works hard. She's a perfectionist, sometimes too much so. But one of those players that a teammate can just count on at any time, offensively or defensively, and a real leader of this team. And honestly, most importantly, and he said this first, she's a good kid. We hear that all the time from coaches. Of course, the Waves in the WCC, but we also hear that from the Pac-12. We talk a lot about the academics and how good these student athletes are.
Goralski comes off in favor of Annie Alvarado. I thought Alvarado may have been the Bruins' best player on the field in that first half. Serta makes a nice turn. Center of the park. She's got some options now. Brings it back to her left, and I think that shot was deflected. Should be a UCLA corner, and it is. Their first of the match. It comes in the 58th minute. Serta, high school All-American, 2014 CIF Player of the Year here in the Golden States. Siebert sets her marks in front of goal.
And everybody on UCLA all the way up at the top of the 18-yard box. One body in on the keeper, Siebert. Everybody else making a run in from the 18.
Here it comes, first UCLA corner of the match, and it's a deep ball. And a foul against Proctor, I believe. Indeed.
Well, she does what she's supposed to do there, get up to head the ball and be aggressive. Maybe just a little bit too aggressive on that one. Climbed right up the back of the Pepperdine defender to get to it and gets whistled for the foul.
Mace got that UCLA header. Possession to Collins and the Waves. It's Harbison now, right back. Lebrusky, that high pressure. UCLA squeezing a little bit, trying to win that possession forward. Instead, a Waves throw in. Had a flash of potential for the Waves, but pried away by the center backs for UCLA. Harbison played it down the touchline. Maddie Ty waits for that to go out. We've talked a few times about the Pac-12 opener for UCLA being just a week away, and we'll have that match for you next Friday, September the 25th, 8 o'clock here on the Pac-12 Network. Always available on your Pac-12 Now app. Revamped for a new season and ready to go. You can stream it on pac-12.com as well. Embrace the dash at pac-12.com. Here's a win for the Waves and some forward possession as they get the better of the ball for a moment. Diagonal pass looking behind that left back, and they've connected. And Shane sneaking behind.
That was a good little run to get in behind by Pepperdine, but good recovery as well, though, by UCLA. Got beat by that first pass, but did a good job spinning around right here. Look at the angle of this ball. Splits right in behind two UCLA defenders. But then nice recovery in the middle there. I believe it was Courtney Proctor coming across to take up that space.
Lauren Caskey with it now. She puts a big left foot into it up top. Comfortably marked by the Waves, and they settle. Good pressure by the Bruins. Levruski sends it all the way over to Mace, who won't be able to keep it. Just not quite that laser-like precision from UCLA, especially in those moments of opportunity where they've won it and potentially have an advantage that we've become accustomed to.
And you heard Coach Cromwell say, I'd like to finish a chance. I'd like to bury an opportunity. Let's see if they can do it here.
How about this move down the right flank by Mace? And there's a perfect example. They get into a threatening position, and then either their service or their shot is uncharacteristically off.
We've seen some really good runs out of the midfield, some really great runs, or balls, I should say, from the back, and a couple services in, but you're right, just that last finish there in the final third of the field, the last touch, the last shot, the last service, the last pass, whatever it might be, just a little bit off here for UCLA.
Here comes Christiana Konkum-Rochikowski again. What a drive. With that left, she tried to lay it off. Looked like an outside-footed ball. Goal kick for Pepperdine? Yes.
And I think that's what made the things that made UCLA so tough, especially last season. They did not miss. Even if it was a half chance, they did not miss. They buried that ball in the lower corner, passing clinic into the net. I mean, they didn't even try to overpower it. They just placed it with ease in the corners every time. Such composure.
Killian and Mewis, the two that come to mind with what you're talking about. Do you get a sense, any hunch yet of what's going to decide this match? Feels pretty sporadic, doesn't it?
It does. It's kind of played in the middle of the field for a while, and then all of a sudden it's like a fast break the opposite direction. Somebody gets to the end line and gets a chance, and then it goes right back the other way. Both teams doing a good job finding the width, finding the space, switching fields quite a bit, but that final third is lacking for both teams.
Proctor pounds it ahead. Both keepers have been solid. Checkman for UCLA, Siebert for the Waves. Proctor is fearless, especially in the air. So good to see her healthy and playing big minutes, that center back role. Kowalski holds her ground at that right back spot, denying a Pepperdine chance. Bruins have possession back. 64.5 minutes gone, still looking for the opening strike. Alvarado back from Ty. There's a nifty touch. Return pass from Serta. This is the Bruins' MO that we've become so used to seeing. Center backs possessing, midfielders choosing their lane, their run. Conkle, a couple of brilliant turns, keeps it on her studs. And then just the misconnected pass to Haley Mace. Here's another win in the attacking half. Mace had the right idea to go down that touchline, but anticipated well by the Waves. Well, no doubt the Bruins have had the better of the ball here in the second half. Nothing to show for it still in our 66th. Konkum-Rochikowski all the way over to the near touch line. Here's Kaski, naturally left-footed player, dispossessed. Waves looking for a way out of trouble here. Alvarado, the chest settle. Back to Kaski, right in front of the UCLA bench.
Feels like Pepperdine's been defending for about 5 minutes straight here.
Bruins kind of letting that ball work, making the Waves chase. Claire Winter to Serta, picking her way through traffic. Has Levruski now. Conkle able to keep it, and she's fouled.
And once again, it's Acevedo coming up with the foul there. Pretty far away from the box here. You can see just a good battle, but she pulls her shorts and then she tackles her late. She's got to be very careful, especially because she's not only riding a yellow, but she's riding a lot of other fouls that have been whistled against her. And that was clearly kind of a late, dirty foul there. First she tugs her shorts and then she clips her.
Proctor with the restart. Lavruski got a header on it. It comes to the feet of the Bruins, and there's a foul in the penalty area. Shane with palms to the sky. She can't believe it. It's the
referee did not even hesitate. He's taking a look, points to the spot. This dead ball comes in over the top. She clearly kind of clipped her in the heels there, but I don't know if that was anywhere else on the field. I don't think it would have been a foul.
Caskey will take it, and it's stopped. Hannah Sieberts with the save of the season.
Well, Hannah Siebert, first of all, she goes the right direction, but really Caskey did not put that far enough in the corner. Not a really tough save for Siebert to make as long as she goes the right direction. And once again, I think Caskey's going to want that one back. Just not enough pace on it. Too far in the middle of the goal. And an easy grab for Hannah Siebert. That's just a weird couple calls there, first of all, because we had that hard foul by Acevedo. I guess I shouldn't call it dirty, but a hard, tough, physical foul. She is a very scrappy player, number 22 for Pepperdine. Then the penalty kick called in the box on maybe a kind of questionable little clip on the heels, and then a missed saved penalty kick. It's just been a weird last minute.
Now Claire Winter takes a knock.
Oh.
It's wound up on the cleat of Riley Baisden, didn't she?
She did, and I don't think that was a foul. I think actually the slide tackle came in first, and then Claire Winter kind of tumbled over the play after the fact. Her momentum kind of carried her forward as she was trying to be aggressive and make a play.
Let's just reset in case you're joining us late. No Taylor Smith, the captain for UCLA tonight. She's riding a red card, out for tonight and the Pac-12 opener against Oregon. Another one of their dynamic threats up top, Darian Jenkins, left with an injury in our first half of play. And now they're attending to Claire Winter as well. As we look ahead to conference play, we want to remind you that in October, Pac-12 Network is home to women's soccer every Thursday night. It's our Thursday night game of the week at 7 o'clock. Fans will get the chance to see the best women's soccer in the country on a national stage. For more information on when your Bruins, UCLA fans, or your Pac-12 team will be featured, visit pac-12.com, pac-12.com for more information on Thursday night women's soccer game of the week. Claire Winter to her feet and hobbling off here at Drake.
See Coach Cromwell using this quick second for some coaching opportunities.
For the second time this evening, Amber Munnerlyn will be asked to replace an injured teammate. First it was Jenkins, now it's Winter. There is the North Carolina transfer. He played club soccer with the SoCal Blues, a great program. Was also California's Gatorade State Player of the Year as a prep in 2012 and 13.
The ball's got to hit the ground first. You very rarely see a drop ball in soccer.
I'm still stunned by the PK and the save that Siebert made, and really the misplaced ball by Caskey, who's normally so dynamic. I mean, there's a very good reason why she's taking these restarts tonight. She's been well off her game.
Yeah, just a little off tonight, right from the first opportunity early in the first half. And usually a penalty kick is kind of a chance to get some of that confidence back, but instead maybe the missed chances carried right over because she just did not place that ball far enough in the corner for Siebert not to get a hand on it and make that save.
Conkle after it, center of the park for the Bruins. Over to Lavruski. They connect with Munnerlyn. There should be a Bruins throw. Let's take one more look at it as we go to the 70th minute.
Well, and she lines it right up, doesn't give it away with her hips or anything, keeps her eyes right on the ball, but I just think she didn't get enough on it, didn't put it in the corner.
Kendra, is there any way that those restarts she sailed high in the first half earlier tonight are kind of playing in her mind? I mean, she was really heavy with her touches, and that one seemed light by comparison.
I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, I kind of thought maybe something was playing on her mind in the first place to have those 2 free kicks go so far over the crossbar, just very unlike her. What have coaches said to us before too, though? I mean, these are college kids. They have a lot going on. They're starting class. They've got life. I mean, other things are going on mentally. Sometimes it's hard. I'm totally speculating here. I have no idea what's going on. Maybe Caskey just completely mishit 2 or 3 balls. But in general, this is life. You know, they have a lot going on. These are 18 to 22-year-olds.
Bruins are reporting for classes. You couldn't help but drive around campus today and see all the signs to the dorms and the various housing establishments pointing
and confused freshmen,
new members of the Bruins family where
parents,
to go.
Yeah, trying to figure things out.
Rochikowski over to Caskey. That's a nice find. Lavruski in a threatening position. Alvarado now. We've seen Mace primarily on the right flank. First time we've seen her on the left side of the field. Well, nutmeg action and a ball in front. Lavruski brings it down again.
Coach Cromwell warned us about her speed, about Mace's speed before the season started when we chatted with her, and we've seen it here. You're right. First on the right, now here on the left.
A physical on the ball, too, to knock that defender away and get a throw in.
Well, and every soccer player can use both feet, but can they use both feet effectively? Serving balls in, long balls, under pressure, beating players 1v1. And Mace has done it on both flanks.
Munnerlyn spins end line. Left-footed ball off the post by Lavruski. Oh, what a combination that would have been.
Nice little play by Munnerlyn. Look at her again. She's kind of posting up in there. Trying to get the ball at her feet, and if she doesn't do it herself, she's creating.
Recycled back in from distance. Lavruski wreaking havoc with Munnerlyn. Here's Conkle Rochikowski. Can she frame it up? Didn't catch all of it, and Siebert scoops.
Look at this. She does a great job shielding the ball, kind of backing in. Nothing the defender can do. Nice little spin move. Lavruski one-times it. Unlucky off the near post.
So in the last 10 minutes, a stopped PK and a point-blank shot off the post. It remains scoreless despite that dominant shot advantage for the Bruins. Just a careless connection there in the back end by UCLA. It'll be a deep throw for the Waves after they get a pair of substitutes into the match. Rodriguez is back. Kristen Rodriguez, the junior, number 18. And Katie Byrne, who came on as a sub in the first half as well. Maimone will get a break. And Arcebido as well. Both those players can re-enter here in college soccer in the second half. Here the Bruins call for away on that throw-in into the area. There's a flag for offside, and it's whistled. touch on that ball from Alvarado to get it out of the back line. She has it again here. Caskey and Mace exchanging passes. And Caskey has a step on a defender. Rusky back out wide to the freshman. Munnerlyn was the intention there, but it's won by Harbison. Ty pumps it ahead with that left, but it goes out in front of the Bruins bench. So 75th minute, we are still scoreless. With Kindred East St. Aubin, I'm JB Long. Thanks for being with us tonight on Pac-12 Los Angeles. Home to UCLA soccer all season. Proctor turning away from that Rodriguez pressure. Mace is creative with the ball there, even though that intention did not get through. She could play it behind her heel, trying to get up that flank. Well, wonderful to see Claire Winter return to the match after she left about 8 minutes ago with an injury. Able to hold it. Winter battling. The Bruins nearly had a breakaway there.
And you could see they were really patient in their own half of the field, passing it around the back, waiting for the right opportunity, tried to play a ball over the top on the flank. Just trickled out of bounds, but you're right, it would have been in on the 18 or at least close to the end line there.
Bruins screaming for offside, and it is called against Rodriguez. Amanda Cromwell and her staff with Luis Lieberman and Josh Walters. Alini Heiss as well. All the way behind the scores table next to our favorite SID, Liza David. That's Taylor Smith out of action tonight. Red carded against North Carolina, so she'll miss this evening and the Oregon match as well. By the way, Liza informing us, November of 2010, the last time this Bruins side was unranked in the national polls. November of 2010. Centering pass here is beautiful. Winter had it taken right off her cleat. Bruins still hold it. Left-footed ball, rejected. Serta was calling for a handball there, and they might be rewarded.
Looks like they got it. Brie Vasali trying to make a play there, jumping right in front. And this is going to be probably the next best dangerous opportunity for UCLA. Who do you think is going to take this free kick?
It'll be telling, won't it? Because so far it's been Caskey. This has been her role, but she's been off the mark.
Well, and she didn't even hesitate to step up and get behind the ball, but it also looks like Annie Alvarado might be lining this one up. We've got three players for UCLA kind of behind the ball. Caskey, Alvarado, and then farther back, we've got Courtney Proctor.
Siebert ready. It's Alvarado to hit it. Never got through the wall. Munnerlyn the header to keep it on. Winter now picking her way just over the crossbar.
And that's the opportunity that you create by keeping the ball in bounds on the free kick. The ball comes back out. Winter does a great job. Now she hits it over the crossbar, but on the initial dead ball, even though Alvarado hit the wall, because of the deflection, it stays in bounds. It bounces around the 18-yard box. It comes out wide. It goes back in, and Claire Winter gets a shot off. If you just sail that ball over the crossbar out of bounds, nobody gets a second, third, fourth chance at it. So even though the dead ball opportunity wasn't great, the free kick wasn't exactly what you want from Alvarado, at least you keep it in play and you get another chance.
Get the feeling that this UCLA pressure is starting to take over as they build their attack once more. A through ball never got home. Asuma, the center back for the Waves. Vasali plays it up a level. A whistle will go against the Bruins.
And it was a short week for both teams. They both came home from traveling on the weekend, and then a quick turnaround game on a Thursday. Pepperdine traveling just down the road, but still, that's a quick turnaround Sunday night late to a Thursday evening game.
Got 11 minutes to cover, at least in regulation. We'll play overtime, 2 10-minute periods if necessary of sudden victory soccer. Rodriguez has a go with the left. Kristen Rodriguez with a goal and an assist on her season.
She didn't hesitate, did she? She barely got her hips turned around that thing. It just rips a shot one time with that left foot. She's one of those players, doesn't need a huge window of opportunity to get that shot off.
As you see, Shane is back on. Alvarado to Laruski. Winter able to pull it through. Center of the park, she's got Caskey. Lavrusky back to Caskey. And that'll spin out for a throw.
Coach Cromwell said she was waiting for things to click, but don't you kind of feel like in the second half here we're seeing some moments of what she knows this team is capable of, some of these passing combinations?
I would say, from midfield to the end line, they've been dynamic, just lacking that finishing touch. They also have failed to cash in on a PK here in the second half.
And I think so often it's the movement off the ball. What are you creating? How are you working together? And I've been really impressed in this second half with what they've been able to do. They just need to get that goal, finish it.
Alvarado steps onto it again. Here's Winter. Munderland from the corner of the box. A low drive into the waiting arms of Hannah Siebert. Siebert looking to shut out a consecutive Pac-12 opponents. Coming off a 6-save shutout of Arizona last weekend. Now she's got the Bruins and a clean sheet. Has made 3 saves to this point in the match. That looks like Rima Bazia, redshirt freshman defender, getting some time here for the Bruins. UCLA able to get some numbers forward now.
Nobody's stepping to the ball. Caskey might as well take it herself. I believe that was her coming from the back.
Indeed it was. Now Alvarado. Back to Caskey. 8 minutes left in regulation. That's a long pass connected to Mace. And now Winter. Winter and Mace have been a great combination in the second half of the Bruins. Alvarado, a chance to flip it. She's got it back. Nice run interrupted by Annie Alvarado. And no cross there from the right flank. Rodriguez takes it away from Proctor up top. Arcebido taken down. Play on. Winter turns away. Has it back from Alvarado. And now Lavrusky playing with her. 7 minutes remaining in regulation. No stoppage time. Munnerlin with her back to goal. Once again, Van Horn and Asuma, the center backs, have been solid for Pepperdine. Proctor lobs it back in. It looked like Lavrusky was still trying to recover, wasn't she?
She was. She was still in an offside position, a little bit slow to get up there as she was trying to get back onside.
Madison Todd can chew up some yardage now. That's a beautiful layoff. Winter still has it at her feet. Horn. Caskey surveying her options. All this forward possession for UCLA, but still no goal to show for it as Mace again goes between the legs of a defender.
There is one player up high right now for Pepperdine at the halfway line, and that's Rodriguez. All the other 10 players behind the ball defending UCLA.
Are they bunkering in for a result necessarily, or is it just the possession by UCLA that's dictating it?
Well, I think the possession by UCLA, they've just kept the ball for huge chunks of time, forcing Pepperdine to get behind the ball and almost looking like they are just trying to spring Rodriguez loose. If they can win the ball and counterattack this late in the game, it's already in the 85th minute.
Always dangerous when you have so much of the ball that you can almost lull yourself into a false sense of confidence on the counter. Again, Winter just knocks a wave off the ball. Munnerlyn sends it back her way. A great recovery by Harbison to deny that chance. This is Rodriguez, the sole wave up top. Ty running step for step with her, and there's a foul.
And you can see Michaela Arcebedo has also joined Rodriguez once they decided to counterattack up on that forward position. So Pepperdine trying to get a little bit offensive, maybe getting those two numbers forward. Looks like they're just going to serve this one into the box here. Not wasting any time with a short ball to keep possession. Just get it in with the clock ticking.
That's exactly what Baisden does. UCLA got the first header. Wave step onto it. Popped up in the air. Served back into the 6. And it's on the keeper. Ariel Scheckman with some nervous moments, but we remain scoreless.
Well, somehow the ball just kept bouncing around. Right there, gets deflected, so it's not cleared out. Cross back in. She's in an onside position, but look who comes in. Courtney Proctor really at the last second, forcing that.
Rodriguez cannot get there, so a UCLA throw. Final 4 minutes here at UCLA of regulation, and then we would play 2 10-minute overtime periods to decide this match. The final non-conference test for UCLA. They're going to bring Zoe Goralski, their redshirt sophomore, back in to give Lavruski a rest. Coach Cromwell likely planning for an overtime session. Wants to have Lavruski get a quick spell here.
Well, she deserves a rest. She's been all over the field tonight.
The Bruins have dominated possession. They're up 12-3 in terms of shots. Pepperdine has not put a shot on goal technically, although we have seen quite a bit of opportunity in front of the UCLA goal. But this match still very much in the balance despite a missed penalty kick from the Bruins, and Caskey is spilled. Winter and Alvarado teaming here. A left-footed pass from Alvarado. Step by Van Horn there defensively. Munnerlyn with some physical play, and there's the whistle.
Good job by the center back, though, to keep her ground. Didn't fall over. She kind of took the contact and just kept on going.
Serta lost it. The Waves take over. Rodriguez Try to play it back a level, and UCLA closed. Christiana Konkomrochikowski back in for Amanda Cromwell. Munnerlyn will come off. Here's a chance. Just into the match. Mochikowski taken down, and the second PK upcoming for the Bruins.
That to me was an easy call. Now, I could be completely proven wrong here on replay because in real time, that looked like an easy call to make. I think it was Jamie Van Horn, number 19 here. First, just a miscue. She misplays the ball, and she clips her heels. So she's got a kind of a clear path to the goal there. Clips her ankles just enough to trip her up inside the box for another penalty kick here for UCLA.
And it's Annie Alvarado to take this one. So the Bruins make a change. And she puts it away in the final minutes. The junior captain for the Bruins finally breaks through. And on the second PK of the match, UCLA takes a 1-0 lead.
Alvarado just calmly steps up, finds her corner, picks it out, lower left hand, and you can see Siebert guess to the same side she did for Lauren Caskey. Or I shouldn't say she guessed, she went to the same side she did for Caskey. And really, as a keeper, you try to read body language, you try to pick the correct side based on the history of the opponent and the player, but Alvarado just buries that one. There was no chance even if Siebert had guessed the right direction.
A just reward for her, too. I think she's played a tremendous match.
She's played really well, and I think that was the correct call by the referee, although Van Horn's not intentionally trying to trip her there, but she made a mistake on defense. She turned the ball over, and as she's trying to recover, you're backtracking, chasing the opponent, and she accidentally clips her heels.
Mochikowski created it all, and she possesses forward again. With Goralski making a run. Just going to bury this in the corner and drain that final minute. Waves will have to hurry here. Maddie Ty plays it back. That should but all drain the remaining seconds. A big boot from Hannah Siebert. One more header and that should do it. UCLA is going to get back to 500 before they begin Pac-12 play. Annie Alvarado at PK in the 90th minute to clinch it.
Probably not exactly how the UCLA Bruins drew this one up, but they've got to feel good about it in the sense that they created a lot of really fantastic scoring opportunities in the second half. Coach Cromwell wanted them to finish a chance, and really you get that penalty kick because of a player being in the right position with Konko.
Own the ball, dominated the shots category. They come away with the result to improve to 4-4, and they await their Pac-12 opener against Oregon next Friday night, 8 o'clock here on the Pac-12 Network, the two-time defending Pac-12 champions. Tough result for Hannah Siebert and the Pepperdine Waves. They fall to 5-3-1 on their season, and they will see Cal Poly next. For Kindred East St. Aubin, I'm J.B. Long. Our producer, Steve Elkin, our director, Brad Toberman, our entire Pac-12 Los Angeles crew. 1-0 the final. UCLA caps their non-conference slate with a victory, and they look ahead to defending their Pac-12 title. We'll see you next Friday night here from Drake Stadium in Westwood for more Pac-12 women's soccer as the Bruins are victorious over top 20.